Joining Freedom Series was one of the most difficult decisions to make, to actually commit, knowing it was a 28-week commitment. Was overwhelming, scary, and I wasn't sure if I was ready. Pastor Steve had spoke about how this would be intense and a lot of trauma and unresolved conflict may come up, and he wasn't kidding. I think I had so much unresolved trauma conflict in my life that I never even knew existed before coming freedom into the freedom sessions, and it was very overwhelming. It was heartbreaking at times. It hurt me. It hurt my heart to come through to realize some of that old pain that I was still holding on to, that I had regressed. But there was this light at the end of the tunnel that I was able to start seeing. But it was many, many, many weeks of study, of prayer, of speaking with the triad, with speaking with my husband, of us starting to communicate to one another. We were able to start having deep conversations. We were able to start praying together. We could bounce ideas off one another, and suggestions, and sometimes even our homework, which was funny because we were always separated in our groups. There was the men's group and there was the women's group, and we did our homework separately all the time. And there was just moments where we would talk to each other about, so what did you put with that answer, and how did you feel about that? And that's when I think our marriage started to blossom. We've been together for 22 years now, and there's been a lot of pain, and there's been a lot of deceit, and there's been a lot of just difficulties learning how to communicate and on both of our parts. And we've just come to this point through the Freedom Series that we are able to lean on each other, because we know that God is with us, guiding us and helping us to be better partners to each other, and better parents, better colleagues, better friends. And it's just because we now know we are children of God, and we are unique, and we are perfect. And it says in the Bible, every good, perfect gift is from above, and that is each and every one of us. And we continue to know that we are here for a reason, and we're here for a purpose. And sometimes we get caught up in wanting to know what that purpose is, and we get really antsy, and we get really anxious wanting to find an answer. Some of those answers come in freedom sessions, and the prayer doesn't stop, and the relationship that we have built with the Lord is unbelievable. And I can honestly say that in this last 6 months, I have never been happier. COVID happened in March. We started going online in virtual courses for our freedom session, because it was supposed to last us till May. And even with COVID, and even with everything that's happening in our world right now, my life has never been better. I have never been happier. I have never felt more at peace. I have never been as content. I'm not sad. I'm not angry. There's no bitterness. There is no shame. I can talk about my past traumas without crying. I know that I have been healed. I know that my heart is now pure, because God has taken that heart that I had of so much anger and animosity, and softened it, and loved me unconditionally. And when you go and realize that so many people in my life have sat there and told me I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy, that it doesn't matter, because number one, I'm loved by God, and that's truly what's important to me. And I've realized it over this last couple of months that I can be happy in my marriage by knowing that I am a child of the Lord.
Freedom Series for me was, that and being baptized were probably, they were the most influential things in my latter part of my life. I got baptized part of the way, halfway through Freedom Series, and my life's changed. It's drastically changed my life. Anybody that's known me in the past and knows me now can attest to how much of a different person I am. I was a negative person. Now I look on the bright side of things. During our journey, 28-week journey of Freedom Sessions, it definitely was not easy by any means. As my wife mentioned earlier, that the pain that she had gone through, especially, I was going through it too. It hurt me to not be able to fix that. I was a fixer, and not being able to fix it, it didn't really sit with me too well. And I was ready to pull the pin because I didn't like to see the hurt. But you need the hurt to come with the grace after. After our Freedom Sessions, we had come to do our testimonies. I showed up a little late. My wife had just ran her testimony, and I found this out afterwards, but apparently they were quite close to the same. So that says something itself too, what we both got from the program, I guess it is a program. The communication it's exponentially better than I've ever. I'm a man, so I don't communicate normally, but now we talk. Maybe she hears me more than she wants to hear me. I'm not too sure. Maybe she's sick of my voice. I'm not too sure. But that's a good thing. We communicate now. We talk. We problem solve together. We parent together. I also was heavy into addiction. I was in active addiction when I come into Freedom Series, and not in my head, right? I'd just come out of treatment, and this was what I was looking for, was a group therapy sessions or whatnot, and it was exactly what I wanted. But my addictions had still had the better of me, and through the Freedom Sessions, my compulsion for my addiction went away little by little, with prayer and the baptism. It was another huge thing in my life, and then it was over, and it just clicked. It clicked. Something just happened, and it was like, okay, my life, everything is okay now. There's no stress. There's no lies. There's no weight of past trauma holding me down, or secrets or anything like that. And it was just like, everything's okay now. And and I was like, what happened? And I think even half my life, what just happened? Like what? And Freedom Series is what happened. Mm-hmm. Our marriage is stronger than it's ever been. I mean, I love my wife. I love my wife. Yeah. More than I ever have. And that's because of the communication and the bond that we built, experiencing it together and going through it. Maybe we shouldn't have done our homework together or something. Because that's what I saw her hurt the most, was during the homework and stuff. And maybe we shouldn't have done that, but we did, and we came out on top. I learned a lot about myself. I had lost my faith. For selfish reasons. Diane's father had passed, and I thought he was taken too soon, and so I had, I had resentments, and I've learned to let everything go and let God in. He is, and I was touched by the Holy Spirit. I feel I was touched by the Holy Spirit directly because of Freedom Sessions, because of turning my life back over to the Lord. I felt that's what I've got in return, was I was touched by the Holy Spirit, and there's words I can't explain, like, it was a direct result of Freedom Series, I believe. And I've been on a high ever since. I've been on a high ever since. Like, it's just, I'm a totally different person than I was. Yeah, now I'm a little looser. I'll start talking here, but yeah, no, I just thank everybody and Ken and everybody that's a part of this, because it has just been a huge impact in my life, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you.
If there were a couple that were considering doing Freedom Session, and they're kind of on the fence about whether or not they should do this together, what would you say to them?
Oh, if there is any type of conflict in your marriage, if there is any type of anger, resentment, animosity, whether it be current, whether it be past, any kind of communication disruptions, I will tell you straight up that Freedom Session will resolve all of that. I have never, ever been able to be so open with my husband. I have never been able to talk to him more, to ask him questions, and not surface things. We no longer just talk about, what are you making for dinner tonight? Oh, I'm going to try out this new diet, and you have to eat keto now with me. We talk about everything from kids' activities to what we're feeling in our heart, to sermons that we've listened to how we responded to our days of people that may have disrupted our day that would have been a negative impact. We talk about, hey, like, how sometimes we feel guilty, actually, because at this point, our marriage and our relationship and our communication is so good, and our life is that we have nothing to complain about. So people are going through COVID, and they're going through job losses, and they're going through kids being sick or themselves being sick, and our world is disrupted right now. And Brian and I have spoken, we say to each other, like, oh my gosh, like, we feel kind of guilty.
Yeah, it's like the best year of our lives.
It's the best year of our lives that we have ever had.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. And there is no way that if we did not have our Freedom Session that we would be where we're at right now. I am 100% convinced that it's the grace of God that saved our marriage during the times that we went through, during Brian's active addiction and trying to navigate that and dealing with relapses. And in the midst of all of this, Brian gives his heart to the Lord. Brian gets baptized. Brian is overcome with the Holy Spirit. And now all we do is just like start our days with being happy. We end them, and when people say like, so how's everything? I'm like, it's so good. I've never ever been happier than I am right now. And you have to understand that, yeah, we ended in March, and now we're in November, and we're still on this big high of life, being like, we are so blessed and so lucky to have been given the opportunity to do this. Although I will not make any excuses and say that this is easy, because it is not easy. Everything about it is hard. Everything about it is hard. But there are some moments of realization that warm hug from the Lord that you get is so worth it. And the person you come out to be, loving, kind, gentle, and exactly as the Lord wants us to be. He wants us to love like Him. And that's what Freedom Session will do for you.
Yeah, as long as you want it and you're committed to it. I mean, there's going to be some stuff that comes up that you're probably not going to want it to come up, but once it comes up, it's out, and that's the reward, is not having to worry about it, not having to like have it weigh you down and trap you. Secrets and lies like are exhausting, like very exhausting, and that's where most of my energy went to, unfortunately. But now I have energy for, everything else. I mean, if you're committed to your relationship and it doesn't matter what comes out, because it's gonna come out, but it has to come out. By all means, dive in, both feet. It's all out there already, like, what do you want? Do you want freedom? Do you want freedom? If you want freedom, this is where it is. I mean, I was in, but I was also like not in the right headspace either. But even like just during the experience and the bonds that I made with people in my group, yeah, that's a tough one. I mean,
Do you feel that you would ever get that experience, let's say, speaking to a counselor once a week, going to a psychologist once a week and speaking with them one-on-one, or doing a 12-step program?
Group therapy is definitely better. It's a definite. I like to help people, while they're helping me, and we can help each other. It's not one-on-one. It's 8 on 8 or whatever it is, right? And you bounce stuff off people, and you get to know people. You get to really know people, and and that's a gift itself.
I remember you saying, though, Brian, one of the biggest things that struck you coming into learning about your group of 8 men was everybody, whether they're Christians or not, these Christians still have their own problems.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, Brian coming in not having, maybe you lost your faith, but I think the biggest thing you always would say is, man, like, I never thought that, like, he's a Christian and, like, he has had a tough life, or this has happened to him, or he did this. And that ability for you to be able to talk to these men and be open with your past issues as well, I think.
And no judgment.
And that's exactly what you
thing.
always.
There's no judgment here.
I remember you saying that to me. You always felt that that Christians were judgmental.
I just didn't want to be shunned for my addictions.
Right,
I didn't
maybe
want to be
that's-
shunned.
yeah.
Like, I didn't want the holier than thou thing. Oh, look at him, right? But everybody's got a story. Everybody's got a story. I'm not saying everybody needs freedom sessions, but most people do.
Right.
Like everybody's
That's so true.
everybody's got a story. So
I think most of us need freedom sessions.
yeah, not everybody, but most of us do. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's really good.
But honestly, I mean, actions speak louder than words, and I mean, just a transformation in myself, I think, speaks for itself. It's like, what are you doing? What did you do, or what are you doing? I mean, I've been, over 6 months now clean, and that's a big thing. But it's also my faith and my love for, and my love for God and being a child of God and just unconditional love, and it's just, it's hard to put into words. It's just. I don't know,
I've had
grace.
friends.
I don't know what it is.
It is
It's just-
grace. There's so much beauty about it. But I had
There
a
is.
friend I had a handful of friends say to me that have known me for 20 plus years, say, I really like the new Diane. Like, I'm really digging this new Diane. You just are so free now. You just because I don't get anxious. I don't get worked up about things. I don't, if somebody's upset with me, I don't really know why, or it's those, we learn about it. It's those words we put in our head that we're allowing.
Sit in your own stuff.
Yeah,
You
we
sit in your
just
own stuff,
allow
and
these
then-
words to kind of fester, and we start believing them, and they're not words of the Lord. They're not truth. And I just go back to that, being like, if that person's upset with me, I'll speak with them. But not only that, like, I don't even care.
No, it's
Like,
unorthodox
it's not
stuff.
even I don't even want to even reach out to them or talk to them. It's like, if they're mad, they're mad.
Yeah.
They can come to me, but I'm not going to.
That's-
Before, in the past, I
that's
would go out
exactly
to them and I would cry, and why are you mad, and why are you upset, and like, what's going? I don't care.
People pleasing, you'll learn it.
Yeah, exactly. People pleasing. Guess what? That was me.
Yeah, I was a people pleaser too. Yeah, it's, yeah, it's a great
Oh,
feeling.
it's so
Like,
beautiful.
I used to be a negative person, I always thought people were out to get me, and now it's just like, water off a duck's back, really. I could care less. You're not gonna impede my happiness, and I'm happy.
Well, you are also constantly grateful for everything.
I am grateful.
He will text me or call me and be like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, raised a 267 that I love my life. I will never have to miss another Father's Day again."
Just, yeah,
Like, and he will little things where he'll be like, "You know what I love about my job is that I am not working minus 40 for a 16-hour night shift, and I'm not." And then there'll be another reason. "Oh, I'm in bed every single night. I'm not on the road working. Oh, and I get to carve pumpkins with you guys every year and never miss it." And it's unbelievable the amount of gratitude that Brian continues to show on a daily basis. And this is not like just weekly, it's every day, I'm sure. I have a text or a call about something he's grateful for.
I learned to live. I learned to be a dad and a husband and a friend again. I was very introverted. Well, I was in addiction. I was deep in addiction, so nothing really mattered to me, honestly. I wanted to save my marriage because it was out now. It was such a secret for 20 years,
Yeah.
right? And it was, now it's out, and I want to save my marriage. I was just there. I was just there. I wasn't present. I
Yeah.
was just going through the motions to make everybody happy, waiting. My mind was elsewhere, right? And now I'm just, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a father, friends,
Yeah.
and I love it, it's,
You're funny.
well, I was always fun.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy the life that I have now. I can't say enough for Freedom Sessions.
Well, it's changed us.